we can just get started with our usual thing. All right. So, Carrie, that was the first time you ever watched the show, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yep. And
love the show. Yeah.
yes, I love, what's his name? Jason. What's his name?
Segel, Jason Segel.
I always want to say Seagal, like
Oh, right.
what's his, like, from way back?
Yes. I'm like, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I love
Is it
him.
also
I've always,
Jason? Yeah.
right? Is it? I don't know.
I know. I'm thinking maybe
Kevin?
it is. Yeah.
Kevin? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But I've always liked his humor, and I don't know. I thought the humor was like totally. I love it. My
Yeah.
style,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
blunt, but a little
Yeah.
funny. So
It's a fun show.
yeah,
So for anybody that's watching the recording, I'll say a little bit about who I am, and then we can talk about the show that we did this time, which is really fun.
yeah.
So I am Tanya Cole-Lesnick, and I've been a therapist. I was just a therapist and then a therapist and a coach, and now I'm just a personal growth coach. But I've done all of this over a span of 30, just over 30 years. So, and I really love community. I think community is such a helpful way to connect and grow. And I also love finding growth in unexpected places. So, this Book Plus Club is an opportunity to really just check in with all different ways that we can be inspired. So, I really love that. And yeah, so welcome. And my lovely co-host here, Carrie.
Hi, I am Carrie. Gosh, I don't know where to start. I love watching TV and like getting the little moments and the aha moments. So, and of course, I don't know, books behind me. Of course, I like to kind of get the lessons and life lessons from that too. And like you mentioned, community. We have like a small recurring group here on Stories and Screens, which we love. And of course, we're welcome to newbies. But I love this kind of sense of community that we've created, even just in these small little groups and the book
Yeah.
plus club. So, and I know we mentioned my mom couldn't make it, but my mom genuinely loves it. So,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
I like our
So
little
great to
group
have
here.
her. Everybody, I love what we end up sort of
Hmm.
connecting on. I think we have
Yeah.
um, I think we all do a great job of, oh, there's Jimmy. We do all do a great job of, I think, just sharing honestly about
Mhm.
what comes up. And you don't have to also. And when people come, if you'd rather pass, that's an option as well. So, and Jamie, you're at a water park, right?
Yeah, I live in Northern Virginia, an hour outside of Washington, D.C., but today I'm in Maryland. It's near Baltimore, called Perryville, Maryland, at a Great Wolf Lodge, which is a huge indoor water park. So I'm here with my friend and her two little kids and their nanny. But I took
Yeah.
a break. I snuck away for the hour to spend it with you guys.
Nice.
Oh,
Aw,
thank
love
you.
that. Love
And
that.
I love shrinking, so I couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've watched it before, Jamie?
I have watched the whole, like, actually, there's currently new ones being released one at a time.
Okay.
So I'm like anxiously waiting for the next week for the
Yes.
next one to
Cool.
release. But yes, we watched the whole thing. My boyfriend and I really, really enjoy it. And the first time I actually watched it was when I was on an airplane. Was it Mexico, Tanya? I feel like
Maybe.
Tanya and I were either going, or I'm Tanya's sister too, by the way, but we were either going to Mexico or returning from Mexico. And I actually got Apple TV just for shrinking.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
much I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of the people in my age group do watch it. So I'm thinking, I wonder if it is an age group. Like, I wonder if my age group
Yeah.
gravitates towards it more than young people, but you liked it anyway. So yeah.
Oh, I really liked it. Yeah, I really liked it. I kind of
Yeah.
like that we have a first timer, right? Like I was blind, new into it, and then we have experience, watched the
Yeah.
whole. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm happy or not happy. What the heck? I'm excited to see what our perspective is, as always. But that's kind
Yeah.
of a cool little blend.
Yeah, it is cool too, though, because it was just a question, really. Could we take an episode out of a whole series and be able to get
Right.
some value of talking about some, because I think there always is such great ahas in surprising places when you talk about TV. And so we're not going to necessarily do a whole series, although that could be something to consider at some point. But for
Yeah,
now,
let
we're
us
just
know.
no.
If anyone wants to do it, let us know.
Yeah. So we're just going to do this one random episode. And so I kind of landed, of
Mm.
course, I used ChatGPT to help choose an episode. And we landed on season one, episode 5, which is called Woof in their little nickname, because that's Harrison Ford's little thing that he says, I guess, when he gets annoyed.
Oh, I was
So
wondering where that came from.
yeah. Yep. So
Hmm.
as always, I love to pick some sort of a question that relates to what we're talking about today, that we all can reintroduce ourselves from that particular perspective. So, one of the things, one of the themes, and we'll get into it, was really Sean. He's a vet, one of the characters, and there's some question about is he being pushed to do something that he wasn't quite ready to do. And also there's a client in there too that we'll talk about. So the question of getting pushed toward, whether it's from ourselves or somebody else, to do something before we feel ready is where I want us to begin with our icebreaker. And I usually go first because I also you always have this question, so I get to think about it for a bit before, and everybody else is just getting the question for the first time. But honestly, I really didn't think of a great answer of getting. So the real question is, can you think of a time when someone pushed you before you were ready, or when you pushed yourself, and how that felt? And what came up for me was maybe less of a push, but more of a, oh, I'm going to try all these things, especially going through dealing with the loss of my husband and thinking, okay, I want to be out and about in the world doing all kinds of things. And I'm also, of course, grieving. And I'm also in process of getting my house. My house just went on the market like today-ish, technically tomorrow. So that's another big deal. None of which I wasn't feeling ready for. I chose these, I mean, I didn't choose my husband's death, but I chose selling the house, and I am choosing how I'm responding to the fact that I'm in this chapter now. Um, and I think I was, well, what's coming to my mind is my storytelling class. So I had done a storytelling class through the summer, and that class was great and I loved it. And then there was another round of classes for storytelling too that I decided I would try, but I knew that it was very late at night. It was through the winter. It might not be the best fit for me. So I went into it with this awareness that I don't know, it might be too much. I might not do it. And I did it halfway through and decided not to continue for various reasons. I had a emergency vet visit, I was traveling, and I had a cold. But also it was too late for me and I was too tired. And so I wasn't really pushing myself to do it because I felt like I had to complete it. I was pushing myself to just keep trying and be out there, and I enjoyed that. But it was a bit of a struggle to say I wasn't ready for it or it wasn't a good fit for me. It was more that it wasn't a great fit for me to do it late at night. Um, so dealing with my own sense of like, well, I started it, I better finish it, even though I went
Mm.
into it knowing it might not be enough. So
Mm.
that's my very long-winded answer to it. It felt complicated. Like when I was deciding, oh, I'm not ready or it's not the right fit for me, I did struggle to like give myself full-on permission to get out of it. But I did
Mm.
ultimately say it was okay. Gave myself that permission. So, yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you a reflective question? I think I'm
Sure.
learning from you too, also. And how did you like, I think this would help other people. How did you feel maybe once you had that clarity, like, oh, I know
Mm.
this isn't right for me, and you made the decision to like, whatever, I check
Yeah.
out for lack of a better phrase, or decide to not.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I think I had to like, for example, I emailed my teacher to tell him I wasn't going to come for various reasons, and I knew it meant I couldn't be in the show and I wasn't going to be able to continue. And I remember feeling a little anxious until I heard his response because I felt
Mm,
guilty and I felt bad and there was a big question like, if I were to push myself to go, because I was really on the fence about that, who would I actually be doing that for? Was my question. And
mm,
so there was definitely this in between, like, this feels a little bit yucky. And then I'd have to remind myself, like, what mattered here? Why did I choose what I chose? That kind of thing. And then I was able to feel relief and feel peace. But I had like that in between place where I felt the discomfort. We've talked about that before, right? Like that we can feel discomfort when we do things that go against maybe a limiting belief. So I had a limiting belief.
yeah,
You got to finish what you start. You've got to like you're smart. You got to show everybody you're smart. You got to show everybody what you can handle. Like there was a lot of limiting beliefs underneath that. So really kind of coming face to face with the limiting belief and to um to make a choice for myself and to tolerate the discomfort and then experience some relief.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. I was
Ah,
like wondering, I don't know, how sometimes it feels after.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all
So
right.
what about you, Carrie or Jamie? Who wants to share next about just any time when either you or your or someone else you felt
Can
pushed
can
before
I
you were ready?
comment on what you just talked about though
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
So I felt from you a sense of relief. And is
Yeah.
that what you said also?
Yeah.
It's yeah, because
Hmm.
it was, you gave yourself permission to miss it, and you really listen to yourself rather than listen to all those outer voices of what you should do based on, oh wait, somebody was going to come see it, or
Hmm.
somebody was going to be disappointed, like whether your instructor would have been maybe disappointed or the other classmates, or you just
Hmm.
truly like focused on what you wanted for yourself in that moment. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like what you said too about, and it's kind of bringing it back to like a lot of the stuff you talk about and have taught us, Tanya, is like giving yourself permission, right? Like identifying the limiting belief.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all you, Tanya. So I'm just like regurgitating what you've done. Identifying the limiting belief, and then giving yourself permission to kind of decide what's next.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also then choosing with intention and saying, okay, I don't want this limiting belief to run the show. It's not really where my heart is, actually. And
Mm,
this is my truer moment here and naming that, which, just recognizing that overdoing it was not what I had any interest in doing. So, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, what about you guys? What came up? Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
Um, so um, I just did this 2-day training that wasn't in massage therapy. It was actually more to do with my personal training certification and trying to get CEU credits. So I found this program at a gym that was focusing on the geriatric population. So that's a population I want to do massage for. But this is really more doing exercise with the geriatric population.
Mm.
So it was very different. And the first day was super fun, and I participated in some of the activities. The second day for me felt more challenging and almost uncomfortable where I'm like, okay, I'm not really an instructor. I'm not really wanting to. I had found out that we were supposed to lead a class, like a little mini class, and I
Oh,
didn't know that till the second day. And I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have time to get Chat GPT to help me, or like they didn't give us much time at all to be given what our instructions were. And somebody went first, and it was totally a very hard act to follow because he did an amazing job. And then no one like volunteered to go second. And I was like, oh, what the heck? I'm just gonna go because I'm gonna be so anxious the whole time. What am I gonna do if I don't go second? So I went
yeah.
second, and he gave me feedback, and I was probably kind of missing a little bit of the instructions where I was supposed to do two different specific skills, and I didn't really,
Mm.
and I think the first person went long, so we felt short on time anyway, and whatever. So I just kind of like winged it and did it, and it was out of my comfort zone. But I was just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this because I'm a teacher. I'm doing this because I want to learn, you know, how to help people in the geriatric population with their balance and with their
Hmm.
confidence and with a little bit of exercise, but not so much
Mm.
that I'm creating an obstacle course and things like that. It was at a,
Yeah.
I guess I should give a little background. It was at a parkour gym. So I don't know if you guys know what a parkour gym is, but they have a lot of like vaulting boxes to like either vault over or stand on and jump down. And
Mm.
there's a lot of like physical, you know, kind of parts of it. And then it was a little challenging for me. And I just did it at my level and it was
Ooh,
fun.
I love
So
that. So
I
the
got it
push,
over with.
but it sounds like it was a growing push. It was like you
Yes,
weren't ready. It was out of your comfort zone. There was a lot of reasons why, like it wasn't exactly what you chose, but you
right.
did
But
kind
I
of.
went with
And
it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Nice.
So yeah, I mean, and I pushed myself, and I'm like, the temptation is just to leave and be like, oh, forget it. I'm not going to finish this training, and walk out.
Mm. Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
even cross my mind, but I was like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to do that either. So,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I pushed myself. I mean, having the other people around motivated me, and they encouraged me and pushed me too. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The benefit of it. It's interesting because
yeah,
my story and Jamie's story are kind of like we both chose the opposite thing. Oh, let me just tell Molly that I'm in
Okay.
stories and screens. Just you guys, even though somebody might watch this. I mean, people probably will. Let me just tell her.
Oopsie.
Okay. So, um what was I going to say about that? Just the fact that, Jamie even said that thing, well, I'm not a quitter, right? So that
Yeah.
was part of what was weighing on me is like I don't identify as a quitter, so I don't want to quit. And that was part of having to get past some of that. But in my case, the learning was in saying no, and in your case, the learning was in saying yes, right? So it's interesting. I mean, and I think we all have to decide which way you're going to go, but and what's going to honor you and what's going to serve whatever's next for each of us. So I love that. Yeah. And Carrie, what about you?
I'm getting a little nervous. I don't know why. I don't normally get nervous before sharing, but I am. I don't know why. So mine's like about a romantic, like way back. I was like 26. I met someone and he was old. We had like a 12, 11-year age gap. So I think that was a bit influential. Like my
Yeah.
frontal lobe like kind of had just developed. So let's just put a pin in that. You can think whatever you guys want to think about that. So I like we had a long distance relationship, and then I'm using the word convinced me to move from Chicago to Florida, which like in my gut I kind of was like I had been getting promoted, like within Marriott, like
Mm.
everything kind of was going really well. I had good roommates, like I was making really decent money for my age, like X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know. Then I was like, you know what, let's take a chance on love. And he was a bit of an earworm kind of thing. And it ended up being like, and I don't say this like lightly for any, like I went to therapy and had all the help, whatever, but like kind of manipulative at the end of the day.
Mm.
So moved down there. As soon as I got down there, I was like in my gut. But I let this go on for close to like 5 more years. So
Mm.
where I had to learn and discern, like it was a long, 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 long phase of learning of what feels right and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even though it was really long, I'm like, damn, I really should have trusted my gut, like a little bit. But I
Yeah.
learned, even though I felt pushed, right, by like this very external
Hmm.
factor, and I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic, a bit, right? Like
Yeah.
love is love. We all kind of want it. So I'm like, whatever, sounds good. He's painting this really good visual. But I wish I would have trusted my gut just a little bit. But I
Yeah.
learned so much about what I wanted and what I didn't want out of a
Yeah.
relationship. It was just whew,
Yeah. 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 And
hard to get
sometimes
through and prickly as hell.
I think sometimes by not trusting our guts, we learn the hard way, right? Like
Yes.
then you learn the hard way, like, okay,
Yeah.
I know what happens when I don't. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I want to, like you both mentioned, like the element of quitting, like, and I'm kind of like really a loyal person, I think, like at the end of the day. And I didn't want to give up, right? I wanted to
Hmm.
kind of exhaust all efforts before I was like, okay, I know this isn't going to work out.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, holy
But it
shit.
also speaks to the gray areas, right? Like so many layers, so much gray area in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not as simple as like, oh, I did this thing and it was a mistake. It was like,
Yep.
I did this thing. I didn't trust my gut. This part was in alignment. This part wasn't,
Yeah.
and just continuing on. I mean, I think it's amazing that you stayed in that place of like, let me learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of open-mindedness and learning. And
Yeah.
it kind of touching on the limiting belief part, I just want to bring it back to that. A little bit of people pleasing in there because I didn't like
Mm,
you guys would like the instructors or like, maybe other people. Like I think, just thinking about other people instead of myself and be like, how
mm.
can I take care of myself in this situation?
Yeah. Yeah, which you kind of outgrew, right? Because I'm thinking you don't identify at all as a people pleaser.
Very much so. I will say, like in romantic relationships, rather than like maybe like platonic or
Uh,
definitely strangers, like
uh-huh.
I don't know, there's a little bit of weight to that to where I will be like, but I have outgrown that. Like
Yeah.
I think now
Nice.
I'm just like, because there was no benefit of it. Where did that get me?
Hmm.
Like it didn't really get me anywhere in romance. So
Yeah. 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 So, all right. So, well, that whole topic kind of came up. I'm just looking at all the different notes that I have for stuff for us to talk about. So, the first topic we talked about for ourselves in the show was the idea of pushing versus readiness. Jimmy was pushing Sean to reconcile with his father too soon. Sean wasn't ready for it. Jimmy was pushing for it. And so, for those that didn't watch the show, Jimmy is one of the therapists in this show, Shrinking, and Sean. Well, part of the show is that they go way outside of the scope of what's appropriate for therapists. And Sean is living at Jimmy's pool house. So, and he's his therapist at the same time. Um, but what happened? You guys saw the show. You both saw the episode recently, yes? Did you? Yeah.
yeah, I
So,
saw it. We
and
watched it this morning.
so Jimmy's pushing Sean, and then Sean's starting to get dysregulated. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of layers to it. So then, so any reactions to when you were watching kind of the unfolding for Sean? He saw his father and his much younger brother. Is he like a half brother? or a full brother, I'm not sure. Sean's much younger brother. And then Sean went to pulled Alice out of school,
Yeah.
went to
I
the
just,
water tower. Yeah.
and then like I mean, hanging off of the water tower, like it's a, like slightly destructive behavior,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I thought of that. That was like alarming,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like that's, and her coming. Also, I just think of like you mentioned, the boundaries of someone's, because then his daughter was impacted, right? And
Right.
then thoroughly, it's like the ripple effect of everything. Like, and then of course his daughter being worried about that person dingling, like, just playing
Mm-hmm.
around, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's still alarming. And then it's like, I'm worried about him. Like, yeah.
Right, right. And he was
So
dysregulated, so maybe he's playing around, but maybe he's not. Who knows? We can't really tell.
no,
So,
so
and I think it speaks to what overwhelm can do to us when we start to like, oh my God, too much going on and I don't know where to go. And we can sometimes make some choices when we're completely in a state of overwhelm that's from a place of dysregulation and not actually what we would necessarily choose. So, yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, the ripple effect is kind of what got
Yeah,
me. So, and it all came
right.
like full circle,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
back to what's his face.
yeah. Any other thoughts, Jamie, about that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that normally Alice wouldn't, if it weren't for the fear factor, she was probably, you know, like bringing the fact that she missed school up to like her dad and the neighbor by, um, like she's giving herself up. So to like she's
Right,
trying to protect Sean, but she didn't let the fact that she was skipping school interfere with that. Like she
right,
definitely went to go, get people to help her figure it out.
right,
Um,
right.
but
Yeah.
she didn't, yeah.
Even
So
though she might get in trouble or whatever. Yeah. Although
yeah,
the school called him, so he already knew she had missed.
right, true.
But you're right that she wasn't shying away from that truth because it was more important to take care of the safety.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thought I literally like laughed out loud when she was like, "Can we call it a deal?" Because of what she found him doing. It was like something about doing drugs off of
Oh,
someone's
right, right. Yes.
picture, and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's pretty funny."
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So then the next sort of topic that I wanted to talk about is sort of mixed messages and emotional safety. Certainly, Sean's father, he mentioned how he was feeling some mixed messages. On the one hand, his dad had framed these medals that Sean had gotten and was giving that to Sean, but Sean was feeling so confused because also his dad kicked him out of the house. He didn't feel like his dad was being loving to him. So it's like he's being kind and not kind at the same time. And and then Sean went on to share a little bit more about um uh his role or his tour as a vet and that people had an impression of him that he didn't feel was fair because he was busy bashing himself and felt awful about some of the ways he did things. Um, yeah, so just that feeling like people don't get you, they don't actually see you, they're not responding to what's really true. And also getting mixed messages from his dad makes it feel not emotionally safe. Um, any any responses from you guys to mixed messages in your own life? Anything that might, I mean, actually, what is coming up for me is we had a mom who could really get upset about certain things and would get very angry at us. We knew that, for example, being late might be something that could trigger that anger, but we weren't always sure. So it's like we'd always be a little bit walking on eggshells, not being quite sure when we'd get the negative wrath or when things would stay calm and okay. And so it doesn't feel safe when you're never quite sure, like which kind of response am I going to get? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I find it completely dysregulating, using the word you used earlier. It's tough. That's something that I don't navigate well, like on any front, really, like at work or like, I know I talked about like romantically, but like
Mm-hmm.
at all. Especially, I think in this situation with the TV show, like that we watched, parent to child, I think is it specifically impactful. And I don't know, it just makes me sad
Mm,
because
yeah.
the consistency and I don't. It's hard. It's harder
So
to navigate.
I just want to make sure I'm following what you're saying, Carrie, is that
Mhm.
really mixed messages are something that are a struggle. And when you get them, no matter where the situation is, whether it's work or romance or family, mixed messages can be a real trigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Because I just don't. I don't know. Like you're
Right.
telling me one thing, but like maybe you're like slamming doors or like turning stuff down or like being short with me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
tell me,
Yeah.
tell me what's going on, please. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you're following.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Jamie, what about you? Anything coming up for you with this idea of mixed messages?
Um, I mean, I guess crossing boundaries comes to mind a little bit.
Mm.
You know, even just the crossing the boundaries you were mentioning about him living in the pool house with his therapist. Um, but as far as like with his dad, I guess it felt that the way his dad treated the younger brother was so different than the way he treated him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just seemed there was such a closer relationship and nurturing. And I mean, the other brother was younger, of course, but and he just never had that, it seems, with his dad, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that felt a little bit glaring.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess and you'll probably get to this. I'm trying to think like when I was like, oh yeah, I love that episode, Woof. And I was trying to think of like that's more Harrison Ford's thing, or
Mm-hmm.
what's his name in it, Paul.
Paul.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, could there have been the use of Wolf in his situation? Like something that bothered him or something he wasn't comfortable with. But
Mm.
I mean, that's kind of it's a cool. I was explaining it, a little bit to somebody about the whole concept of the wolf, and
Yeah.
I don't, that feels like a way of regulating something that might feel like you might be angry or you might something that sets you off or triggers you, and then you try to calm yourself down and just be like, okay, wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Just even appreciating coming up with a mantra or some way of responding to something that helps ground you. And so, yeah, I think you're identifying this is what Harrison Ford does, but we all can kind of find our own. And you also
Yeah.
had a question. Did you have a question about Harrison Ford? Or you were saying something about,
I said you might get to some of that about the title. Like
yeah,
why was that episode called Wolf? And then because he uses it, throughout the season a little
yeah,
bit. But
yeah, right. Like why that
and
one?
the focus was more on Sean than Paul. So at
Although,
least that part of it.
yeah, although I want to kind of, now that you've said that, I want to jump to that part of it because I think that part was very interesting at the end where Harrison Ford did come in and talk to Sean and the way he
Mhm.
did it. And really, what ultimately I think brought Sean into a place where he was ready to talk more. And I know Jimmy was
Mhm.
like, he's not going to talk. And then he did, and he was all upset. But Harrison Ford shared his own struggles about having Parkinson's and being worried that his daughter's going to think differently of him and not being able to say it. And so I think, Carrie, you were talking about the how everything impacts everything else, like the radiating out, or word did you use?
I think it was ripple effect.
Ripple, right.
Was
The
that
ripple
it?
effect.
Okay.
And so I love how Harrison Ford's character ended up sitting with Sean and Jimmy and
Mm,
starting to talk and shared something deep and painful from his own life, which brought Sean in to share more honestly about what was going on for him because he then felt safe. Speaking of safety, so when Harrison Ford was sharing something very honest and real, I mean, I'm assuming the two are related, but I imagine that like then Sean felt safer to share more about himself. And the other part that I love is that Harrison Ford, after he had said out loud why he didn't do it, that he was afraid and that he hadn't told his daughter yet, then he was able to do it. By
yeah.
sort of saying how he was stuck and why he was stuck, it led to him being able to then make that phone call to his daughter.
Yep.
So, yeah. Carrie,
And
what
that
about
showed their parallel situations too, I guess.
yeah,
In a way,
yeah,
in that, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I guess you already commented on the last one that we did, the mixed messages. You already commented on that. So we won't go back into that, but let's go on to the next thing that I was talking about is just the authenticity versus performance, which is something that I talk so much about. Like, how do you stay true to yourself? How do you honor yourself? And what's more performance or for other people or because you want to appear a certain way? I loved watching Gabby in this. You know, she had been in that session with a couple and they asked her a
Love it.
question. And instead of answering honestly, she said, "You betcha." And it was sort of comparing their marriage to her marriage, and she is divorced. So um, she knew while she was doing it, she was being very inauthentic.
Hmm.
And but part of what I loved about it is that she then caught herself, went and talked to Paul about it, and really was trying to understand herself because this is what happens, right? It's like we catch ourselves doing something that's not honoring ourselves and that's maybe
Hmm.
not true for us. And that's not the problem. The problem is if we don't then try and understand like what came up,
Oh,
then we might be in a mode where that's just how we kind of approach things. But I love that she caught herself and was like, what was I doing? And talked about that. So, um, yeah, any thoughts about it from your own life, this being inauthentic or performing versus being authentic? Is there anything that comes up for you guys?
yeah. Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like a valley girl. Yeah. I, well, you guys know I had like that job for like 3 weeks and it went awry. But I'm thinking of like maybe someone like who's supposed to be or in a leadership role, like acting as a leader, or maybe even just like friends in my personal life. I am in just like in the TV show way more connected to and like if someone's like, hey, I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. Like the job that I'm talking about, like this gentleman acted like and genuinely like acted like he knew everything like
Mm.
everything, but then like sometimes when you're in an admin role you and this wasn't my just so you know wasn't my boss, it was someone else's. I was just in the same
Oh,
office. So but when you're in an admin role you kind of see a lot of the back end stuff and you see what's working and what's not. So it's like had this gentleman just been like, hey, I don't know, can you like help? I think
Hmm.
he would have gotten a way better response from these other people to help him. Otherwise, they're like, "Well, I'm not going to help him if he knows how much," like. So I just feel like there's human to human. I think
Mm.
this is my personal opinion. You're going to get a way further with people and have a more collaborative approach. And Tanya and I have worked together for a long time. Like, I don't, and this is what I really enjoy working. Like, I don't know right now. Let me figure that out. Or like,
Right.
I don't
Hmm.
know. I just
Being
respect it.
honest. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because how we're just humans. We're not going to know everything.
Right.
We're not going to be perfect. And like in the TV show, maybe we don't know what's going on at that exact moment, but let me like kind of go to my safe place and my safe people to get that external feedback
Yeah. Yeah.
appropriately because it wasn't appropriate for her to talk about her own life. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. We're
Yeah.
gonna accept
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
also like that boundary was there for her not to impact other people. Like, okay, I'm gonna go
Mm.
to my mentor.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And I like what you're saying too, Carrie, about we feel it. I think that's part of what you're saying with
Yes.
this, when somebody's being inauthentic, we,
Yeah.
even if we can't put our finger on it exactly,
Yeah.
we can feel something. Yeah.
Yes. I totally believe that. Like, people aren't stupid,
Mm.
like, and I'm not saying that in a bad, it's just we do feel it. There's,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So you might
Yeah.
as well just come off humbly and no one's gonna judge you for, I don't know. I don't think people are gonna judge.
Yeah.
I'll get
That
off my
actually,
soapbox.
But actually, that it's a more welcome thing for somebody to say,
Mm-hmm.
huh, I'm not really sure, or, like, like the I don't know, or I made a mistake, or whatever it is, that feels more welcome. You can connect
Yeah.
more to a
Well, yeah,
human.
bringing it back to the TV show, like, hey, I'm flawed, I messed up too, or whatever. That with that self disclosure, then we saw more disclosure and more like growth and connection.
Mm,
So we can
hmm.
all like, okay, I understand him, he
Yeah,
understands me. We can move forward a little bit from this,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
probably feels better.
yeah, yeah. So,
So
Jamie, what about you? Anything coming up with this authenticity versus performance idea?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like um, it can happen so easily to just want to answer somebody quickly and
yes,
have an appropriate, what feels like an appropriate answer, even if it's not authentic. But then you're like, if you were to do it all over again, you might answer differently. So there's
Mm,
so many situations I feel like, maybe I can't think of an example, but like maybe just given it more time or more thought, you might have just answered differently.
yeah, yeah. And so what I'm thinking is just back to this idea of pausing and permission, giving yourself permission to even think about things. Like, let me think about that. It's because
Yeah,
sometimes we do feel this sense of urgency of like, oh, I've got to know right now, and I've got to say what it is. And
right,
you actually don't have to. Yeah. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And it can happen to everybody. Like you
Hmm.
can relate to it. It's very relatable just
Mm.
because you're like, who says you betcha? Like you say all kinds of things that might not make sense in the moment. And you just think back about it and you're like, shoot,
Yeah.
why did I say that even?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think what comes up for me, I'm thinking a lot about releasing my license, my social work license, and just noticing what a different journey it is to make sure I'm always checking in with myself and my intuition. Whereas when I had my license, I think I also went through all the clinical information in my head, which was like in a different place. And so it would kind of take me out of the equation in some ways because I'd be thinking, okay, what's the clinical answer here? Where the truth is, sort of my intuition is something that's been really, I've been using it and focusing it somewhat for more than 30 years in this realm. And so to really honor that I don't have to go into the performative part, which is like, okay, let me just review all these ideas and instead trust the human part of me. And it's just been an interesting switch, but it feels very different to not have to go into the performative part. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
All right. So, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking about like relationship dynamics and emotional entanglement is kind of like the next topic that I had written down and thinking just Paul's relationship with Jimmy. We didn't really get to see why they were kind of on a pause, I guess. He wasn't talking to him. I think Paul was not appreciating a lot of the decisions that Jimmy had been making. So he was distancing himself somewhat. And then Gabby was sort of caught in the middle of all this dynamic. So, and I know at one point she was like, well, I'm not your sloppy seconds. And so there was just a lot of interesting thing. I mean, is that something that you guys can relate to in terms of relationship dynamic when maybe there's tension in one area and feeling pulled in somehow to somebody else's stuff. So, yeah, Carrie, I see you nodding your head. Is something in particular coming up for you?
Yeah. Yes. I have, how do I explain this? With also trying to respect anonymity. Um, there's a person within my circle who's kind of pissing everybody off. Like it's
Mm,
not like, and it's within different cliques that are coming together at one place.
yeah.
And it's like, I thought it was just kind of my own thing with this person. But now that like several, like upwards of five more individuals have said something. So I was like, oh shit, like this is like, eh. So now it's so hard for me not to like hear everyone else's kind of opinions and
Mm,
then compound it with my own. And then like that's also impacting just like our relationship. So yeah, it's tough. And
mm,
especially when like the opinions that it's all people that you also care about, like you have
mm-hmm,
love and capacity and care for everyone and it's tough when maybe you also don't agree with some of the decisions that are being
mm.
made either. So I don't know.
Yeah. So getting swirled into like multiple people having something to say, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of next to what you're feeling already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it sounds like it feels easy to get pulled into it, and you have to be very intentional about not getting pulled into it. Yeah.
Yes. And like really yeah, taking everything with a grain of salt, talking about it, right? I'm really in that, like you mentioned, Jamie, like formulating my like answer or guess how I'm gonna present all this to this person and
Yeah.
say, hey, we've got an issue, you know, not only with this, but with this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
making sure everything's compartmentalized so I can address it appropriately, pausing.
Right, right, right. And address it from your own perspective rather than feeling like it's your job now to handle it or something
Yes,
like that.
those words literally came out of my mouth. I was like, oh shit, well now it's all on me. But then I was like, someone's like, is it though? And I was like, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not. So let me just, yeah, what are my own issues?
Yeah.
And if they're curious about what other people are saying, and if they ask,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. What about you, Jamie? Anything come up with this idea?
Well, I just wanted to mention to Carrie, does that feel validating that it was not only you, there's other people too that were feeling the same thing or, you know, having similar issues or whatever?
yes.
Just what
So
ends up.
you're asking, was it validating?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I just want to make sure. Yes,
yeah.
extremely, because I really thought I really thought it was just I was maybe projecting things or some like kind of maybe being a diva a bit or like getting bothered by small things. And I was like, oh no. Yeah, it's very validating because it just
Yeah,
yeah,
Mm,
mhm,
yeah.
placed
yeah,
me in a reality that I wanted to make sure I was in also before I
Yeah.
go pop off either. So
Mm.
so Tanya, can I have you kind of repeat the question a little bit, like in a semi
Well,
way? Because I'm trying
I'll
to.
give you a few just different questions that relate to it. How do we get pulled into dynamics that are not fully ours, right? So sometimes people might want to keep venting at you or something like that,
Mhm.
and sort of you get involved in a way you don't want to. Or are there roles that maybe you unconsciously take on for yourself in relationships? And this is for all of us. Or what would it look like to step out of those roles? So it's really just a
Yeah,
question about something about relationship dynamics that can get messy and sticky and
yeah. So I have um a situation with somebody who often asks my advice so much to the point where it's a little gray area of whether she's just venting or
mm,
wanting
mm,
advice. So sometimes, I feel like, well, I don't know how to answer that. Like, I don't know, so sometimes I feel like I'm pulled into the point where I feel like I'm not providing good enough advice, or I'm not, um, I don't know what she's maybe looking for whatever the situation might be. And that,
hmm
I'm definitely a good ear, and I can listen and I can hear. But it's also that, like, people aren't necessarily looking for someone to fix the situation too. They might just want to vent about it or hear about it. But
hmm
not sure if I'm fully answering your question.
No, I mean, it's actually a good kind of segue into, I was thinking, well, what do I want to say about that? And it's interesting. I mean, in the work that I do, of course, people are talking to me about all kinds of things, including relationships that they're in and that kind of thing. And there is a point where it's that's not productive anymore, right? And to talk about that, to even name it as venting, is that what you're looking for? And helping people come to a place where they can look at their own role in it. So, and I think sometimes because of the work that I do, people do come to me and want me to offer some sort of perspective from a therapist, right? Or a personal growth coach. And so just making sure I don't stay in that space too long where it feels like I'm not in a reciprocal relationship and that I'm overgiving of myself. So just paying attention to those different layers are important for me to make sure of that. But that idea, Jamie, of maybe not knowing what somebody's looking for, but making sure that that gets discussed. I mean, maybe in your situation too, that could be helpful to have that discussed. I know in my work sometimes putting it out there is helpful. It could be hard though. Sometimes people don't really want to hear, what do you mean I have to like figure out my own role? They're the asshole, like that kind of sort of response. So just
that
paying
hits super
attention.
close to home.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Because like I don't know, can I just like
yeah,
pose like what do you do? Like I'm not like asking, but like a rhetorical question. This is
yeah.
a rhetorical question. What do you do when someone's pissed so you don't want to listen to them vent? Like,
hmm
oh my God. But it's not like whatever.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm kind of being a
yeah.
bitch right now, but I don't know, like it is like
But that can be a hard conversation
it's
and
a
also
very
a
hard
necessary one, right? Like,
one.
if I don't do this, then I feel like I'm constantly giving myself over to
Mm-hmm.
this person. I am like, my energy is getting depleted by something I don't
Yeah.
want to be involved in. And
Mhm.
so,
Maybe just not right now or like
right.
X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I definitely
hmm
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's tough.
Yeah,
to
it's
navigate
tough.
that.
And
But
deciding which are the tough conversations I'm going to have, And is
yeah,
this one? Is this pattern enough that it's really interfering with my ability to connect with this person?
yeah,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. All right, so let's do a closing reflection then for all of us. And I have not pre-prepared this. I don't even know what I'm going to say.
Ah,
What's one small truth, boundary, or step toward honesty that feels available to you right now? Like something that you know that you want to maybe set a boundary around. God, I don't even know what I would say to that. So anything coming up for either of you while I think? So, yeah.
oh, do you want to go, Jamie? I saw you unmute.
Oh, no, you can go, Carrie. I'll go after you or whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter the order. So,
You go. You
I
go.
can hold. Oh, okay. It just brings me back to the same person I was just talking about. So,
Mm,
um, boundary wise, I feel like I don't know why, but when I can't provide the perfect advice, I feel self-conscious and not good enough.
mm,
And I'm not
mm.
providing a good enough answer. And I feel like I need to maybe clarify, like, are you looking to vent? Are you looking to fix this? Like,
Uh-huh.
maybe that could be a way that I figure out what the boundary is and what the expectation might be from I mean, I feel like in a way this particular person is looking to talk to me as if I'm her therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels invasive to me in a way. And I feel so um put upon, and I feel, and it's draining for me. Like I
Yeah.
just like, and this happens to be someone I try to do, every other week a massage for, and I just have to psych myself up sometimes to go
Mm,
and do this massage with her, because then the conversation sways, and we don't
mm,
always talk during the massage, but it's sometimes after. But so just it it takes so much energy, and I got to figure out how to,
mm.
like, not deplete my own energy when I'm feeling like I'm being relied on in that kind of way. It puts a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, I love that goal. You also may find that the answer doesn't change this for you. Like it could be that the answer is like, yeah, I want to vent a little and I want to fix it. And perhaps you might still be feel put upon in the same way, which I think then you get to the next step, But I love that you're naming it, that you're looking at it, and that you want to go to this sort of place where there's more clear communication about what's wanted. And then you'll see. Maybe it'll clear it up, maybe it won't, but I love that you're sort of wanting to be intentional so that it doesn't keep taking your energy.
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Jamie,
Yeah.
Jamie, you could enforce a new silent appointment policy.
Before and after as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna like mine's. I was thinking about the same individual and group that I've been chatting about. I have to have this conversation, not only for like myself, with this individual, but like the group that we have our outing with too is now being negatively impacted.
Mm,
Like people aren't wanting to come, or like they're like, hey, so and so is coming. That's fine, but I may need to take breaks. Like,
mhm,
oh my God.
mhm.
So I'm just going to have the hard conversation.
Yeah.
And I predict, and that's fine. It's going to honor everybody's truth. We're all going to feel better. But they're also, we talked about last time, like with feedback, like receiving
Mm,
feedback. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to be the one to give it. And I don't think that it's going to go well
mm,
just based off of histrionics. I don't,
yeah.
and I have to also give myself permission to say, well, that's on that person. We're all adults. We're in our
Hmm.
mid 30s. Whatever comes of it is what happened.
Yeah.
Like she's stepping on rakes is a phrase
Right.
I've
Like
heard.
to not take on her journey as your own. Like you're doing your
Yes.
part and she's going to react however she's going to react, and that's her work. And
Hmm.
it's not your responsibility to do the work, her
Yeah,
work.
her
Yeah.
work. Yeah, and I really like in a perfect world, I would love for, and I know we're at time, but I would love for it to be like just like we talked about, like just this really human, open conversation instead of maybe shutting down and be like, well, oh my God, I know there's going to be phrases that are like, I'm too much. I knew
Mm,
this was going to happen.
mm.
And I know that that's something that she struggles with, but I cannot take that on.
Yes, right, right.
And I
Yeah,
have a lot of sympathy and I have a lot of love, but
right. It
I
can't, yeah. You're giving her the gift of being honest about it,
yes.
and very likely it's going to be painful for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that doesn't mean don't do it.
it doesn't mean don't do it because it's not like you said, the gift, it's not doing her any
Mhm.
favors and it's not doing all like coming back to the TV show and then I'll stop talking is that ripple effect that now it's having, right? Of
Yeah,
not having this conversation or
yeah.
letting things go on that maybe are problematic for the good of the realm. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. From
forgot
one of
about
our
that
other
phrase.
groups.
That
Yes.
literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the good of the realm.
The good of the
Yes.
realm.
Yeah.
So
And I know we're done for time, but I just
yeah.
will add one for me as well. I think for me, it's to keep doing what I'm doing about like, I signed up for a line dancing class, and my
Yes.
friends and I are kind of like, I don't know if we like it so much. We had done square dancing. That was a little more fun. This is like a little harder to follow. And I'm like, oh, do I really? I'm not sure I'm enjoying myself in the moment. And I think, as I said, I'm getting my house on the market. Officially tomorrow, people are going to start touring it and or whatever, coming for a showing. And so there's a few more things I got to do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let myself do it less pressured. I'm not going to that class. I'm not doing my hike tomorrow morning. And so it's for me to say no to the things sometimes can be hard, and letting myself be in that gray area of like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and just to honor what works for me. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I love
All
that.
right,
You'll
guys,
have
a
to let us
pleasure
know
to
how it
see
goes.
you. I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You
Nice
know
to
what
see
we're
you both.
doing next time?
Oh,
We talked about it a
we
bit. Do
talked
we?
about a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
One is there was a well, I sent Carrie. There's a very inspirational Instagram account that I thought we could maybe all make an agreement just to spend some time looking at it, like 15 minutes, half an hour, something like that, just to see what comes up for you. So that's one option. And then the
That
other
sounds
option,
cool.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the other option is um, well, I know we were talking about doing a chat GPT thing. I mean, I do kind
Mm.
of love the idea of maybe in real time, even doing some exploration together and using it as a tool and kind of having some fun with that. So, do you have a
Yeah.
leaning one way or the other, Jamie?
Um, well, the chat GPT is relevant in time frame for me because I just added the pay, like I'm paying for it now.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think Danny's going to be working less for me. So I'm like needing to step in and doing work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
like the sound of the Instagram thing too.
All
So I
right.
think you can generate a list and go to the
Yeah.
next one
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
I was even thinking like a Ted Lasso episode would be cool too for a
Yeah.
future thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to sort of shake them up since we did a TV
Yeah.
show, but we can
But I
definitely
mean,
put
like
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
in the cycle for the
Yep. Yep.
future.
I love that idea.
We'll put it
So,
on the list. We'll put
There's
it
a
yeah.
on the
book.
list.
There's a book called "Lead It Like Lasso." So
Oh, cute.
um, it kind of takes the personalities of each of the leaders. So
Oh,
it's kind of interesting. I don't
I feel like
love the
I've
book.
heard of it before,
Yeah,
but
I
maybe
was
you
kind of
told
interesting.
me.
listening. I'm listening to
Yeah.
it. I like the book, and I want to go back and get the actual printed book because I feel like that'll. I'm listening to it, but
Yeah.
I think it might be cool to have the actual physical book too.
Yeah. All
Okay,
But
I
right.
might check
anyway,
that out. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Well, Carrie and I will talk about it next week
yeah,
and make a
sounds good.
decision. Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome. All
thanks.
right.
Thanks for giving me an
Thank
excuse
you.
to like go be on my own for an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for
And
being
hey,
here.
hey,
Makes us happy.
we ran over late. If you need some extra time, we'll vouch for
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Bye,
Alrighty.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.